What is up, everybody? Welcome to another fresh take. Sandstorm, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Tired, but I'm doing great.
All right. So as you can see on the screen, I got my Disney Plus up. You can tell by the title, we are talking about Star Wars Visions, the anime anthology that they did for the Star Wars series. Kind of like what happened with The Matrix and with Halo. This time, just for Star Wars, with a few different anime studios out of Japan giving their takes in nine uh, short vids, basically. I'm going to say this off the rip because I've seen some people already do it. Please do not compare this to Animatrix and Halo. They're
It's not the same.
completely different.
It's
It's
not the same.
yeah, it's apples to grapefruits to oranges to lemons. Don't do it. Just if you're gonna do this, like just talk about them as they are, as it pertains to Star Wars. Because trying to compare this to Animatrix, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I went back and rewatched Animatrix like a couple weeks ago. It ain't as good as I remember.
Nah.
And Halo Legends, as much as I liked some of them, but I didn't like all of them. So I get like you, and it's okay to not to because there's some in here that I don't care for too much, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand why they're there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing with all of those anthology series is it's about variety and about letting the anime studio do their adaptation of a story. So with that being said, we're going to start off with episode 1, The Duel. Now, this one is very interesting. This is actually I'm going to say it. This is my favorite one.
Yeah, it's my favorite one
And,
too. It's
and
there's a couple ones that are close, but this one's my favorite one.
yeah. And the reason why this is my favorite one, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this the art style should be very recognizable to you if you watched Afro Samurai
Mm-hmm.
because it's Bob Okazaki. It's his artwork and style. Um, Now this is heavy on the Akira Kurosawa Seven Samurai, um, which has been redone God knows how many times.
So many times.
Yeah, but this is kind of like that style. And I will say this: I love how this is set up. You basically have the Wanderer. In this one, he's the Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's a village that gets beset by bandits, but the bandits are basically decommissioned uh, stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
After the Empire falls, people out of work. It is what it is. So they beset this village, and the Ronin is there, just stopping to get something to eat, drink, just rest up a little bit because he's just walking the countryside with his droid, who's basically, let's be real, it was R2D2.
Right.
I don't even know why they even tried to like if that ain't R2D2, I don't know what is. They don't call him R2D2, but that's what they were going for. And the thing that I liked most about this is how they set up the action. And I don't think the person that Ronin was fighting was an actual Sith. I think she was an Inquisitor or something. There's no way. I just don't think she was a Sith.
Nah.
Not like that. But the fight and the choreography was actually very well done.
The fight was so dope.
Yeah, and, and they did a good job with it because when they first square off, the bandit leader thinks he's a Jedi, and
Mm-hmm.
then he pulls out his blade, and everybody knows if you have a red blade, you are Sith.
Right.
Well, clearly this guy isn't Sith,
Right. Right.
clearly, but he has a red lightsaber, which actually just kind of throws it on his head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Where okay, all right, hold on, this is not what I'm used to. So you mean tell me somebody that used to be a Sith decided to turn? You don't never hear nobody like uh well, you hear them turning, but they usually die when they turn.
Right.
They
Right.
don't like turn and go on and lead a life. You know, usually when they finally turn, they're dead. They die in the process or whatever. So it was one of those situations where it's really interesting. And then you come to find out he is a Sith hunter.
Yeah, that's kind of where I took the because like you said with the red lightsaber, After he opens up his jacket, he shows all the kyber crystals, the red kyber crystals. That's kind of and like a homage to like the samurai when he shows his lightsaber is more so kind of like the blood on the sword type of deal, and everybody's like, oh, you know what I mean? And then he kind of sheaths up, so then it's like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, so I would, and this is one of the ones I want another
A
story
series.
with this dude. I want a story with this dude.
There's like a few on here. I'm like, man, if this was a series, this would be hot.
Yeah, like this, and the reason why, once again, like I can deal with something like this, like 5 episodes of just this guy, and just learning more about his background. And I hate it, man. I hate it was a black girl that had to get cut down, but hey, she was crazy.
Yo, she was wilding when she pulled out that umbrella.
Yeah.
B Foster said it the best. Vigilante, he was like, man, this girl is cheating. Like, how you?
And I'm sitting there like, she stabbed old boy and then opened it. I'm like, that was uncalled for. He was already dead when you stabbed him. So yeah, this one is my favorite out of them. So all right, you want to go on to episode 2?
So episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody. This one, if I can be honest, this one's probably the weakest one for me. But with that being said, like it would still, this one would be more of a movie for me, like one of those straight for movies. I don't see this being like a whole series, but I really like how the art style direction went with this. Because you're kind of seeing like more cute Boba Fett, like seeing all these characters at first, and then seeing Boba Fett come out and he's like, 2 feet tall with a big head. It was like, okay, that's kind of cute. And what ended up happening is that one of the band members was a Huttese, right? And he owed Jabba to the point where Jabba sent out Boba Fett to handle him. And at first they got away, but Boba Fett being Boba Fett, he gonna capture you. You gonna get caught. So and so they got into a situation where all these band members or whatever still wanted to help him out with the lead singer, kind of hinting that he was some sort of Padawan. We don't know if he was like full Jedi or not, but
he was in training. We know he was in training.
Yeah. So to kind of honor his band buddy, they go to Tatooine, iconic pod racer area, where Jabba the Hutt is, and kind of ask for a favor from Jabba since he's the Godfather. And Jabba allows them to do one last song before this guy is executed. It blows the whole galaxy away, or at least the people who heard it, to the point where they ask for another song, and he kind of pleads for his buddy's life with being like making Jabba the first sponsor to their band and everything. And so, even Jabba was getting down when they were singing.
Let's be real now. Good and well Jabba started shaking everybody down.
Yeah, he gonna like if everybody's clamoring for this dude to be alive, like Jabba, like I'm doubling down now. You definitely go die. But
he was shaking down everybody in that stadium. He gonna get that money. Jabba gonna get that money.
He gonna get that money. Like y'all thought y'all was paying for a pod race, but now y'all gonna have to pay extra for this for this band. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay extra before you leave, or you're not leaving this area. One thing I will say about this, I think that out of all the episodes that we've seen, or all the reimaginings, this one would have been absolutely like amazing if it was natively in Japanese. I feel like instead of being in English, I felt like this would have had more of a positive take with me personally. Just like even the singing part, because like I could hear the words and the songs and the song that they were singing. Like I would have been more like to get down if it was all in Japanese than in English. Like I feel like it catered more to that. But overall, this this one didn't really need a follow up to me. I could see where they could extend it on to them being sponsored and stuff like that. But overall, this one was like, this is okay. This is a cool idea.
This is the one that is specifically directed for the kids.
Yeah.
This is directed at the kids.
Yeah.
So it's not anything like the first 2 minutes is the Padawan like getting away from all the craziness that's going on. But after that, it is really rated G.
Yeah.
And you don't really see nothing then, really.
No,
you just see him running from stuff and stuff on fire.
Nobody dies
straight
in your face. Nobody really gets,
hurt or anything like that.
Yeah.
So and I can understand why adults wouldn't like this one, but it is the weakest one to be sure. But I think like if you have like young kids, they'll probably like it. Yeah, that's what I think about this one. Now, this other one, this next one, the twins.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, man.
If y'all ever seen it's a movie called Promare. This is Studio Trigger. So if you don't like bombastic visuals and crazy fights and stuff like that, you're not gonna like this. If you like ridiculous over the topness, you're probably gonna like this. But I actually like the premise behind this because nobody's ever talked about this. Like if the Sith went and said, okay, we're finna have twins and we're gonna raise them up in the dark side. Normally they go and try to persuade and trick people into joining the dark side. These two was raised in it, so it was a very interesting dynamic. This story to me, and now it does get ridiculous with the action. Because
but it's so dope.
It's dope though. Here's what's gonna piss some people off, and I agree with you to an extent. Yes, they are out in space and they are breathing.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you didn't have a problem with Leia, you don't have a problem with this. All right. If you ain't have a problem with Leia, just force pulling herself back to a ship. Do not have a problem with this. And I'll leave it at that. But I liked how because the brother is trying to save his sister. Because to be honest, she's being stupid.
Right.
Like she saw it comes to a point where she actually sees the vision that he saw, and she's still being stupid. I'm like, wow.
And he explained it to her.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. You better be glad it wasn't me. I would have let you die.
Right.
You better be glad it wasn't me. Because I'm like, at that point, I'm like, okay, there ain't nothing for me else to say. There's nothing really else for me to say. I'm like, you're being stupid.
Right. This one was very Gurren Lagann-ish. Like
yes.
Like man, just all the way up to the him being on the X-wing and
doing the hyper,
going into hyper speed and just
which would have ripped him apart.
Yeah, it was just like you said, the action in this was way over the top, and you know what, you actually get the over the topness like straight off the beginning because you got the they both, because they're twins or whatever, sit in this Gemini Star Destroyer. Yeah. And it's just two Star Destroyers with a weapon right in the middle.
In the middle, it's a big cannon.
Yeah, and in my head, I'm like, yo, this is the dumbest idea. Like this would not work. Y'all would get dropped off real quick. Like two Star Destroyers attached to each other. That's not a good idea. Yeah, with a cannon. That's not a good idea. Like, but it's like those type of things that brings this like in full circle for this episode, because it just like gets more and more and more crazy, and you're like, wow. This needs a series. Like I could like at the end of this, and he's like, yo, she's still out there somewhere. Like I need maybe not as many episodes as the first one, but like if they did this in like a 4-part series or something like that, to where they like come back together and it's like a Darth Vader Luke type of deal, one last fight, I would love to see this like transition into something like that.
Yeah, because this one is one of those ones that you could say, yeah, okay, I want to see where this goes. Because once again, he didn't say he was a Jedi. He didn't say he was a light side. He didn't say he was just trying to save his sister.
Right.
That's all he was trying to do. He did not say, oh, you got to come to the light. He didn't say that.
Right,
He
right.
was like, "No, I saw you die. If you take this crystal, you're going to die, and I don't want you to die." That's all it was. So once again, that's why I say it's an interesting dynamic for this one because he never said he was gonna uh be a Jedi. He never said he was going to the light side. He was
Right.
just trying to save his sister.
And he straight up tells him, like, I don't care about the Republic or the
Or
Empire.
yeah, I don't care about either one. You are going to die if you keep doing this.
Right.
And her hard-headed self,
She wanted to do it anyway.
I'm like, okay, you better be glad when
I will say I did like the whips, the whole whip
the
lightsaber.
yeah.
That was sweet. That was
I mean,
sweet.
even though she clearly stole that from Samus,
Right.
but we're not gonna bring that up. The twins for Smash Bros. Confirmed. All right, so the next one, The Village Bride. What did you think about this one?
This one was I'm gonna say like I wasn't over enthusiastic about it, probably because more so because of the pacing.
Mhm.
It I like the pacing was probably the worst part, especially the beginning part and
The beginning was
understand
slow. The beginning was
yeah,
slow.
kind of understanding like what really is going on, especially with the main character who at first was wearing the mask or whatever. So I'm like, dang, she must be a Sith. Like
Yeah.
only person I know to wear a mask like that was Plo
The girl
Koon.
and the girl in the first one. In the first
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
duels.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah. But I mean, as it went on, like it made sense, and then she finally fights the mercenaries and stuff like that.
Well,
Which
she beat the hell out of them.
yeah, oh yeah, she handled it. I like that they once again returned to Samus and got her in them special boots. So she could go quick, lightning quick, and everything. That was cool. Overall, it was like, yeah, like would I want this to be a story? I could see it being one,
This
but
one I
it's
can
not.
see be a movie. This
Yeah,
is one I can see being a movie.
yeah,
This has that Miyazaki type feel to it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I will say this: even though it does start off slow, I was engaged in it
Mhm.
because, like, so basically you have a couple that's about to get married. The problem is they are pretty much sending her off as payment to the warlord, so that he basically leave them alone. And so you're at the wedding, and even because her sister's like, "Who mourns at a wedding?" And I'm like, "Dang, I didn't think of it like that." They were
Yo, that was
all
deep.
basically mourning at a wedding,
Right.
and when you should be happy because they refuse to fight because they're one with nature. And old girl who is the Jedi, she's trying not to make any like, look, I'm not gonna make any movements because
Mhm.
all it takes is one Sith. Because apparently she barely got away from. They didn't say it was Order 66, but she barely got away from whatever happened.
Right. She's trying to stay away from
Yeah.
like everything. Like, I'm not involved anymore.
Yeah, and she has to because in the warlord, I'm like, can somebody please kill him?
Right.
Jeez, can somebody kill him? Like, I know I'm not supposed to be like that, but dude, this dude's a prick.
Right.
So
right.
he's just one of them annoying villains where you're just like, how are you still alive? Which is what was killing me. But I actually this actually became like one of my favorites. Because I did go back and watch this particular one twice.
Okay.
And I'm like, this actually became one of my favorites. Now, this one I can see being an animated movie type.
Yeah, I definitely could see it being a full movie.
Yeah, especially if they keep that Miyazaki Studio Ghibli type feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see because I would love to know a little bit more about her. Actually, because she ain't
she seems dope. She got she has a yellow lightsaber. So
yep, Bastila Shan.
Yeah.
So all right, so the Ninth Jedi.
Now, yo. Let me tell you, this one right here, this one right here. Oh my goodness! I wish it was so badly a whole season out of this. Like
this should be like a 23 episode.
Oh my
this should be like
gosh.
23 episodes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this one was dope. Just the plot twist. even just like the character, the main character, the girl herself, like they set this up so that like you wanted that next episode. Like, man, what's gonna happen on this next one?
Yeah.
This one caught me off guard.
Well, let me ask you this: what did you think about the revelation of the lightsabers themselves?
I thought that was interesting. I won't necessarily say like I was all for it because just okay, so how this starts off is that they have, I forgot what his name is. Um but he's a person and he sends out a comm to seven other, was it
That's
no,
supposed to be Jedi.
eight other
That's
Jedi.
supposed to
Yeah.
be Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah. About meeting in this one place. And they basically have lightsabers because they're what, outlawed or
Yeah, they're
like
outlawed. At this point, they're outlawed.
yeah. And so they have Jedi hunters out and around still searching for Jedi. And lo and behold, on this planet that's believed this temple where all the Jedi are supposed to meet, they have a lightsaber smith, a literal person. So the Jedi aren't making their own lightsabers anymore. They aren't doing the whole mind thing and putting it together. They literally have a person actually making them, which I thought was kind of interesting because he turned out to have some sort of.
Well, it makes sense because if you're being hunted, you're trying to act like you don't do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So it makes sense to actually have somebody that can actually make them, as opposed to putting yourself out there with a big sign that screams "I'm a Jedi."
I'm a Jedi. Yeah. So it was cool to and oh man, the moment she pulled out the lightsaber, I was like, yo, you were super special. Like you're gonna be like what's Boba Fett's tribe?
The Mandalorians.
The Mandalorians, because her lightsaber was black.
It was
like
it went black,
but I
clear.
think it was I was gonna say it was more like invisible. Like at first it looked like it was black, but it was more like invisible. And they kind of explain like the lightsabers turn the color of whatever whoever the wielder wishes it actually to be. Yeah. And it takes on the form or abilities of the actual wielder. So she wasn't a Jedi, but she was really trained into using the lightsabers, and you could tell even when she's practicing and stuff, which obviously she's
the
sensitive.
other thing that I actually liked about this episode is one, just because you have a lightsaber don't make you a Jedi. And I like that they did that, because every time, because that's one of the complaints I've seen from people, like they rely too much on Jedi. I'm like, did you not watch half of these? No. Half of these don't have Jedi in them. Just because you have a lightsaber don't mean you're a Jedi or a Sith.
Exactly.
You just have a lightsaber is a sword.
I like that ongoing theme for it too, because by the time they get up, by the time she gets up to the temple or whatever, that was the plot twist right there. That was the big thing.
Ooh, that got me.
I literally thought that all these guys around here were going to end up having to fight the robot. I mean, technically they did, but I thought the robot was
the Sith. That's how Siths look.
Yeah, and
that's how we've been trained that they look.
Yeah, and he even looks back at this chair like the throne. So I'm like, oh yeah, you definitely got to be one of them. Like, turns out all of them were Sith
except for one.
except for one.
Except for the other boy.
Yeah,
the other boy.
Yep.
And
two, technically two, because the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy their hate. He siphoned off their hate.
Yeah, he was Samus Windu, or Samus Windu, Samuel L. Windu.
Yeah, so. Basically. So, but I did like the fact that like basically the other six were basically the Jedi killers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, if y'all Jedi, why didn't y'all have your own lightsaber? I guess because they were trying to fool them to grab them. But yeah, that blast. Well, the action sequences in this one, and this is the longest one.
Yeah.
So the action sequences in this, especially on the frozen lake, that was dope.
Oh man, she hopped off that boy so quick. I'm like, oh, Stubbs, look at you.
I'm like, that was dope. And then when she gets there, and she recognizes who it is, and when she recognizes, you're like, why is she cool with the Sith? That don't make sense. No,
Right.
that dude's not a Sith.
Right.
And then they grab the lightsabers and they all start turning red. I'm like, oh, y'all screwed.
Yeah,
But
that
they
flipped up.
handled it.
Yo,
they handled it.
My man, I forgot his name, but he could have did some work by himself. Like he was doing most of the work, and
he was gonna kill. He was gonna kill most of them.
Yeah,
to be honest,
he didn't look like he was struggling. So
like the girl, she wasn't good with the Force, but the problem was her acrobatics and her lightsaber skill was so good that she was hanging with them. So the thing that I liked about it, and before anybody says she was a Mary Sue, no, she's not. They already explained that she just grew up around her dad's a lightsaber smith. She just grew up around him, so she knew how to use them.
She was working it. She was working it.
Yeah, and her lightsaber actually changed to blue, I think.
Blue, I'm pretty sure.
At the end of it, it changed to blue. It goes from black to clear while she's out on the frozen lake, and then when she gets up there, she's fighting, and then it slowly
turns to blue. Yep.
So that was actually very interesting, and once again, it's my second favorite episode behind. Well, it's tied with another episode that we're about to get to. But
oh man,
this one of the ones I would love to see a full-on anime season, 13 or 23 episodes of this.
Yeah,
I would love to see that because they leave it off in a way that
they can keep going.
They can actually keep going with this. With this story, they can keep going. So,
I like how at the end they saw some trickery. They flipped the world upside down, and it ended up being actually like the hilt and the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Pointing to the world or whatever. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a cool visual. That really was a cool visual. Now the next one, Toby.
Oh, you mean Astro Boy?
Astro Boy, yeah. So basically, this is basically Osamu Tezuka's Astro Boy. If you know, it was in Star Wars. It's 15 minutes. It's not. It's 15 minutes. It's not. It's paced real well. I'll give it that. Once again, it's one of those ones. It's not really for me, but I will give them this: the animation during the fight sequence and the animation during the part where he's getting the mental training part.
Oh yes,
was smooth.
Yeah,
I will give it that. But overall, it really is basically Astro Boy.
Yeah,
in Star Wars.
Yep,
complete with the Doctor. They just gave him longer hair. That's all they did, and made him a Jedi instead of just a regular Doctor, because he was basically trying to bring a planet back to life, essentially. And he, Toby, aka Astro Boy, he goes into the basement because he's trying to find a kyber crystal so he can be a Jedi. Because once again, he heard all the stories about the heroic Jedis, the heroic Jedi Knights. So he wants to be one. Every kid heard stuff like that growing up, I'm sure. So that's what he wants to be focused. He wants to focus on being a Jedi, even though he technically is an android. Right. And he finds his the professor's ship, and when he was playing with it, it sent out a signal, and a Jedi hunter finds him. And we all know what happens next.
Right.
They don't show it because this is another one.
This is for the children.
Yeah, just like the second episode. This one is for the kids. You're not gonna see the violence that you would see like in the Ninth Jedi or in the Duel or anything like that. You're just you'll see the aftermath, and you'll see like the cool stop motion visuals, and like when they do like cinematography and stuff like that, you'll see that, but you're not gonna see something gory and crazy. You're not gonna see that in this. Overall, I just thought this was just okay. It was okay. It just wasn't for me. So, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this one was okay. It wasn't super exciting. I just thought it was funny that the it was literally Astro Boy. There was a song in the montage. Like I was like, yo, this song is dope. Like just the way it was playing out, I thought it was really cool. But overall, real quickly, Brendan Foster says the twins had Kill la Kill vibes or Kill la Kill vibes.
It did.
Yes, that was really awesome. The Village Bride episode had dope music. And then he said she got the splash step from Bleach.
That and them rocket boots. That and them
Yeah.
rocket boots.
Yo, she turned them boys on so quick.
Yeah. That's why I was like, dude, you got to be the dumbest warlord ever. Like everybody heard that. It wasn't like it was silent. Everybody heard it. You got to be the stupidest warlord.
Yeah, so overall, but yeah, the Toby one was okay. I mean, I can see it being a stronger series for kids than the second
Rhapsody one. Yeah, the Rhapsody one. Because the Rhapsody one, there's only so much you can do with that.
Right.
This
exactly.
one you can actually turn into like like a seasonal.
Yeah,
like 13 episodes, like a season.
Show him how he levels up. Gets because at one point, like one of the robots like becomes compatible with him, and then he gets like a little boost. So like it would be cool to see if he got like some upgrades like Mega Man.
That's what I would do with it. Honestly.
Yeah, because he's an android, so he can't necessarily use the Force like that. So at least give him something, you know what I mean?
Give him something to balance that part out. Because I ain't gonna lie, I did like I said before, I like the cinematography with the when he did start using the lightsaber. I like the cinematography with it. But they did some cool stuff in it. It's just like this is one of those ones that I can see like them doing like a 13 episode series where it has some action in it, but it's directly would be for kids,
right? Exactly.
Not for like adults. Like adults will probably wind up watching it, like adults be the ones playing Pokemon, but it's not targeted toward that, you know.
Right, exactly.
I thought that one was just okay. It wasn't the weakest one, but it wasn't in
the top ones or the best ones for me.
Now the next one was
this one reminds me of so many, like, oh my gosh, if it's not Avatar, like the look of Avatar, or if it's like Samurai Champloo, or like like it hit so many of those genres, and this one is one of those that needs it so badly. This is a season right here. This is a season maker, and it's real. I think that's the other thing I really liked about it. Because it starts off with a Jedi and his Padawan going through space. This Padawan so badly wants some sort of action, and unfortunately he gets that. Not how he wanted it. Not exactly how he wanted it, but and so they feel a disturbance in the force. His master does, and he feels like it's very powerful. And they end up going to a planet where he felt the disturbance come from. And he's asking
it's a planet he'd already been to before.
Yep. And he's asking around, and this one, like, I feel like it sucks that it was only 17 minutes. Like, I feel like they could have if they stretched it out even longer, I would have been fine with that.
I don't think anybody would have been mad at this one being 30.
No, because it comes to a point where the Padawan suggests that he goes up the mountain and the master stays there because
he's so stupid.
He heard that whatever the disturbance is, this old guy is up the mountain. So he's kind of like, oh, well, I kind of want that action. And his master's like, be careful, because there's some wildlife out there that can do some work on you. And like, that's the part where I was like, oh man, this could really stretch, because he's got to go up this mountain. Like, I'm thinking he's going to have to fight these beasts, fight off these beasts. And then eventually come to some sort of house where the elder is sitting, and he's like, I've been waiting for you type deal. No. He's like,
he killed him.
Yeah.
The elder killed the
elder kills the beast before he even gets all the way up the mountain. Like, he's halfway up the mountain and the beast is already dead. And the kid is like, his guides are little kids, and he's like, y'all got to get out of here. And the elder just straight shows up, and he handles business like quick too. I thought this
was not a long fight between the kid and that elder, and I'm just sitting there like, bruh,
you knew what was gonna happen.
It's called swordplay for a reason,
right? I really thought. I mean, I knew he was gonna, try and be like Anakin and be like, I can do this by myself. But like even his master is standing there, like feeling this happen, and he's like, "Yo, run!"
Yeah.
And like in stereotypical Neo fashion, he feels like he's just gonna fight Agent Smith right then and there, and you seen what
Like, no,
happened.
you're not. No, you're not. But I will say this: I wanted to know more about this elder character,
Yeah.
just because his demeanor was not that of a Sith.
No, he really wanted to just fight. Like
Yeah,
he was trying to live out how much more powerful I can be. He had the Sith eyes.
yeah,
Don't
he
get us
did.
wrong. He
Yeah,
had
he
the
did.
Sith eyes. He had the right red
But
lightsabers,
but he wasn't acting like I want to
but he wasn't
conquer
a
everything. Yeah, because if that was the case, he would have killed everybody in that village.
right. He wasn't an actual Sith. Yeah. Yeah. Like he I feel like this is a homage to something else, and I can't remember what.
Yeah,
But like he was really just out seeking power. Like who could he beat? Like if you perfect. There's an episode in Samurai Champloo, and
I think I know which
it's
episode you're talking about.
yeah, it's the guy who only kills the samurai at a
Yeah,
certain time at night or
and I
whatever.
yeah yeah
Yes.
that's what
This
this
is
is. Yeah,
this is that episode. Like he's not out to go out and kill everybody. Like he ain't worried or concerned about that. He's showing off like how far his power has gone. And even his master is like, like power is kind of important, and I've kind of been losing power too. And at some point in time to his Padawan, like you're gonna get stronger too. But like it was just kind of like
you can't beat time.
yeah, you can't beat time, and that's what he said. Like, I didn't really beat him. Like, he actually lost the time. Like,
Yeah, because
so
it was interesting when he killed him, when he ran him through. Because yes, the master does win. I
mhm,
mean, he does. He turned to dust
yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
So the only thing that was keeping him alive was the force.
right,
That's the only thing. So he probably would have been dead. Like we don't know how old he is.
yeah,
That's the other thing too. We have no idea how old this guy is. That's why I'm
it,
like, I would love to see like at least like 13 episodes to find out who this guy is.
yeah. Because you know what? It was kind of like it's kind of like Darth Sidious, to like Yoda. Like Yoda stayed alive so long because he depended on the Force through natural reasons,
Yeah,
and like Sidious kind of kept going and going because of his
lust
like
for power, basically.
lust for power. Yeah. So this one would have been dope. Even to get a background view. Man, that could even I would be okay if they went the Dark Sidious route and this man has clones. I'm okay
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, I would be okay with that. And I like the way that he had basically two Wakazashis basically.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
basically what he had, and I was like, okay, it was a very interesting take on. It was a very interesting take on the Padawan and the Jedi, and it was a very interesting take on life itself. Because once
Hmm.
again, this guy ain't running around hollering about he a Sith. He didn't mess with nobody in the village.
Right.
Now, what Sith do you know that didn't come with his whole crew and try to take over every village?
Right. Right.
He didn't do that. He just went up the mountain waiting for somebody strong to show up.
And knew how to get somebody stronger because he knew that the Padawan wasn't the one. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, so your master must be here. Okay. Well, if I kill you off, then he definitely gonna come see
So
me.
yeah, he gonna come see me. He gonna come get this work. But yeah, their fight was actually pretty well choreographed too.
Mhm.
I had to give it to him. All of the fights and action choreography in this anthology have been like top notch. I gotta give him that.
They are definitely on point.
Even the Toby one.
Yeah.
If anything I can say about that one, the action choreography was good in it. Now, this next episode is probably the one that I say is tied with the Ninth Jedi for me, and that's Lop and Osho.
Yo, can I just say that at the beginning of this, my first thought was like, man, this is gonna be hella weak. Like,
that's what I was saying.
like as soon as they were explaining like the background and the family, I'm like, this is gonna be weak. I'll just go ahead and sit through these 21 minutes. But then like it just like I was like, yo, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and I kind of felt bad for the dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
because the backdrop to this one is this is during the time of the Empire, and this planet is basically rich in resources.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Empire comes in. At first, they act like they're cool with everybody, giving people work and all that, but slowly it turns into slavery.
Right.
Um, and this father, who basically what how they explain their family, because I did go and watch the extras for this, so I
Mm-hmm.
did watch that. He's basically Yakuza, basically,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and he's the head of the family, and he's like, no, we can't let the Empire get away with this because we were doing fine before they got here. And now all you see is all the industrial stuff, and it's kind of like polluting the nature and all that. And before you get to the part where they do the time skip, they rescue the girl who had pretty much ran away from the mines or whatever, and they free her and they take her in as he takes her in as his daughter, basically.
Right.
Basically because his other daughter, his birth daughter, is like, I want a sister, we taking her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. Okay, but we do a little bit of a time skip, and you start to see like the cracks between him and his blood daughter, and it's basically one of those things where if you know anything about the Star Wars Lord, the reason how most people go toward the dark side is because of their ego,
Right.
and she has a very big ego.
Yep.
And even though Lop is trying to keep the family together, she's having a hard time doing it because Ocho just don't care.
No.
Like
She is gung ho on being right.
yeah, and the sad thing about it is she cares, but to an extent, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that her ego is so big that she can't see what's happening is really kind of like, okay, and you can see it when the dad is just, look, man, I messed up.
Mm-hmm. And she didn't care.
And she straight didn't care. She just straight didn't care. And you're like, okay, this is gonna be a weird ending to this. So I started getting more and more involved, especially when he gave her the lightsaber, which is basically, and this lightsaber is a little bit different. Like it has, just like in the first episode of Duel, it has a samurai hilt, but when the blade comes out, there's actually inscriptions on the actual lightsaber blade, which makes no sense. But it was cool. Sweet. It was a cool visual. It was a cool visual nonetheless. Because their family got it from a Jedi who had came to that planet to rest. So, and he taught the first person in their clan how to fight. That once again, they're not a Jedi, just taught them how to fight. And so it had been passed down from head to head, from head to the inheritor. And since his daughter left, he gave it to Lop. And like, look, you're to stay here, no matter what happens, just stay here. So he went to go talk to the Empire. You know that wasn't gonna happen.
Right.
So kaboom. Yeah, you hear the kaboom, and she's just like, okay, no, I gotta leave. I gotta go find out what's wrong with Dad. So she goes, and that sequence is cool too, because she basically, like, the Empire actually has guards waiting for her to come so they can just basically mow her down. And she does some Fast and the Furious nitro jump off the side of a thing and parasol in. And she's and daughter and father are fighting, and you can tell the dad is holding back, and she ain't.
Like he pretty much tells her, like, I can't kill you. Like,
yeah. And that was the biggest mistake he made, because she basically takes his eye and was gonna kill him. And the thing about it is, you could tell she didn't want to kill him, but she's just so pumped up on ego and adrenaline, she was gonna do it. And that's when Lop fights her, and Lop straight.
She goes to town. Yeah.
She takes her and still tries to save her.
Right.
But now this one is another one. I need about 7 more episodes.
I need it. I need
about 7 more episodes.
I need it. Girl, Clona is handling work.
Yeah. I'm like, I kind of, because I like it, because we all know how these things end in Star Wars. She's gonna find a way to save her. But the way they ended it, this could definitely be a nice little 2-season series.
Yo, and she was using, wasn't she using like the 3-pronged staff too that had like the lightsaber in
Yes,
the middle of it?
yeah,
Yeah.
she was using like a tri-section staff,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and then like her dad was using the sai, but it had like a jewel in it,
Yeah.
and then Locke picks it up, the one that ain't broke, and she's dual wielded. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is gonna, yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah.
one was sweet. This one was
This
definitely
one was
sweet.
sweet. I this one and the Ninth Jedi need series,
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
like full on series.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I would just love to see what happens next. Because once again, the dad doesn't. He lost
He
both
don't,
his eyes,
yeah,
so he's
he don't
blind. He can't see.
necessarily die. He just
Yeah, he just lost his other eye,
yeah.
and some of his crew is dead. But
Right.
the whole family ain't disposed of, because there
Right.
was people back at the house with Locke when you know when he left. So the house ain't dead, and it ain't. They didn't say they were suffering. It was just the people were suffering.
Right, exactly.
So it ain't like he'll be. And once again, this is Star Wars, so I'm pretty sure they can make him some robotic eyes and implant them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that ain't nothing.
Yeah.
But I did like the look of it. I did like the feel of it. It does start off a little slow,
Mhm.
but I think the art style, the soundtrack to this one, and just how they choreographed the fights and the argument,
It was on point.
it was on point.
It was
It
definitely
was
on point.
really on point.
That one actually reminded kind of the way Ocho's face was kind of Kill la Kill like too.
Yeah.
Because she had that like I'm above everybody and you all suck type of mentality.
But did you notice she wasn't like that with Locke?
No, not at
She
all.
was never like that with Locke. Like even when she was fighting her at the end, she was like, "Look, this has to happen because it's the only way to save everybody." Like
Right.
she was so gung ho and believing that the Empire was. She couldn't see that the Empire was using her.
Right.
She couldn't see that, but I mean, the thing is, she was so gung ho in that, but she wasn't trying to. She wasn't trying to kill Locke, but Locke wasn't trying to kill her. She just wanted them to come back and be a family. That's all Locke wanted.
Right. Exactly.
And the killer about Ocho is Ocho wanted her sister back too.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this is like one of them ones where this is gonna have like a sad ending to it.
Yeah, it's gonna have a nice long
Yeah,
fight with a sad ending at the
with a
end.
sad ending, because
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're probably both gonna wind up. This is one of those ones where both of them will wind up trying to fight a Sith,
Mhm.
and both of them either dying or getting hurt real bad.
Right.
Because that's how I see that series, if they did go to series, would end, because the guy that convinced her to join it, that dude, he's a nobody.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure there's a Sith involved in this one that would have to happen.
Oh yeah, of course. Somebody to further Ocho's mind into what she needs to do.
Yeah. Now this last one, I'm not gonna lie, I hated it.
I was not a fan of it
I
either.
was not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of, I got to save my loved one, so I'm gonna join the dark side. Like after I did something to kill her.
Right. Yeah, that one. This one, and it was only 14 minutes too.
Yeah.
Like it didn't give me enough time to invest in the characters, none of it. And like the only thing I can really say is I kind of like the visual art style, but I wasn't totally sold on it.
Yeah.
This
I wasn't in love with it.
Yeah. This one was the weakest one for me. Absolute. I would say that even over
the Rhapsody.
Yeah.
The Rhapsody was at least a comedy.
Right.
At least.
Right. It was very fun.
Yeah.
This one tried to take itself way too serious.
Yeah. And I don't know why that's one that probably could have, it needed to be another 10 minutes at least, because the problem with this one is we don't know. We know the Shogun is the girl's uncle, but we don't know what made him go crazy and turn on his family.
Right.
The guy Tsubaki that's in love with her, we know he was having visions, but you mean to tell me this guy's a Jedi Knight and he don't know to calm himself?
Right.
Like Anakin, we knew why Anakin was like that. Anakin was full of rage.
Right.
There was nothing to say that guy was full of rage. there was nothing to say that. So I don't.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
feel like the concepts were all over the place.
and after he saved, because he does cut her down, but after he saves her, why would he need to go with her? Go
Right.
with the uncle? Why would he need to go with the uncle? It's clear the uncle couldn't beat him head up. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it was just weird.
Yeah, like this, like I said, this I feel like this one was probably like they had something in the works and they were just like, yeah, let's just throw this one out here too. Cause like it would have
Yeah,
been fine if they just skipped this one
yeah.
overall.
To
Like
be,
it wasn't good. It
yeah,
wasn't really
it
good.
just wasn't like, especially compared with the rest of them. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Now, before we close up, I do want to tell y'all something. If you're, I nerd out over stuff like this. You
Hmm.
really want to see these filmmaker focuses. They're very well done. They are very well done. So, my favorite one is The Elder and The Duel because I like the background of it. I did like the Ninth Jedi um filmmaker focus because you get to see like how they came up with the different characters and how the twist came about. I like that, but they're not long. So I think the longest one I think is The Duel and The Elder, is like 8 minutes. The rest of them are like under 5. So you might want to check these out when you have a chance, just because they're actually really well done, in my opinion. So overall, Sanson, what would you say?
Overall, this was a great experiment. Like this was a great experience, a great experiment. I think, like we've said a few times, that was more than a few times. Pretty much on almost every episode is that these like need series. Like these could definitely be like legitimate series or for anime heads. Like they a few of these, I mean, they could stretch them like seasons.
Yeah,
And actually do stuff with it just because Star Wars is so big, but even the concepts, if each of these were, I would even put like, even if the Ninth Jedi, the episode that we saw was actually like the middle of season 2 or something like that, and we got a whole bunch of story in the back, like just to explain the lightsabers and stuff like that, like these could be full blown out concepts that I think that Disney could easily slide themselves into like the rest of the anime wars
yeah.
between like
I,
Funimation and Crunchyroll and stuff.
I mean, you're sitting on money, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, especially like for me personally, I think The Village Bride works better as a movie.
Hmm.
But like the Ninth Jedi, The Elder, Lap and Acho, you can do those as series.
Yeah.
To be fair, you can do those series. The reason why I say The Village Bride should be like a movie because we get to see it's set up to be like that. It's not. I
Yeah.
don't think it's set up to be a series. That's set up to be like the characters on the run. We get to find out more about her, and then that could be exploded out into like an hour and a half to 2 hour movie.
Right.
And I think everybody will be fine with that. The Ninth Jedi, that needs to be a series. The Elder, that'll be like a short series, but a series nonetheless, because I would love to know more about that actual character.
Yeah.
Lap
Yeah.
and Ocho, I can easily see getting 2 or 3 seasons out of that.
Yeah. Oh,
Easy.
definitely. Definitely.
The Duel, I can see that being a season,
Hmm.
just to learn more about the Ronin character and what is he exactly.
Right.
Because once again, he's not Sith and he ain't Jedi. So what is he exactly? Is he somebody that they messed around and killed? Because it being so heavily inspired off of Akira Kurosawa, it could easily be somebody came through and wiped out his village, and he just like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna kill all y'all because I'm a better swordsman than all y'all.
Right.
I don't need the force. Yeah, I learned it, but I don't need it.
Yeah. That. Oh man, that dual episode.
Yeah, so I can see that actually being at least like a season. But
Hmm.
yeah, overall, I think it's very well done. I think that I think that if they wanted to, and I've never understood why Star Wars haven't had an anime yet, a true anime, because you can do so much with Star Wars and Star Trek. You could do so much with varying forms of media. I don't know why they haven't.
It's a whole
Uh,
universe to
yeah.
play with, and they just ain't taking advantage of it.
Yeah. Now I know some people say, "Well, it's too Jedi and Sith centric." I'm telling you, no, it ain't. Watch these episodes.
Nah,
Just because you have a lightsaber, don't make you a
nah.
Jedi.
As
Or
a matter of fact, most of them are not Jedi centric like that.
yeah, they're not. They just like people who or like for instance, the Ninth Jedi, that girl is not a Jedi. She just
No.
her dad makes lightsabers. So guess what? She learned how to use a lightsaber.
Right, exactly.
So I mean that's because you see it at the end of that episode where they're fighting and they start using the force. She's having to duck and dodge.
Right.
So
She's not sensitive to that point.
yeah. So it's one of those things. Lop she ain't no Jedi.
Mm-mm.
She just knows how to fight. So I disagree with people who say that, who take that stance that it's two Jedi. I'm like, no, it's not, because if you watch them, the majority, the Elder is Jedi centric. It has two Jedis in it.
Right.
The Ninth Jedi has three Jedis in it, but one of them is just like the girl, the boy that's there. He's basically an apprentice.
Right.
So it's one of those situations, like you don't have a lot of them in it, I would say. To be honest, it's not as focused as people are making out to be. Other than that, though, I think every Star Wars fan will probably enjoy the majority of these. Most of y'all to get. Now, I will say this for like people who have kids, I think they can watch all of these, but you do want to probably watch The Elder with them. Akakiri, you probably want to watch it with them just because they have like more
adult themes
in it. Even the Ninth Jedi to an extent. To an extent. The duel.
Yeah.
Don't
need it.
That one you're gonna need it, but the rest of them not really. I mean, even Lop and Ocho, like you can watch the kids can watch that and be fine, because it's more about the actual story in that one.
Right.
So but yeah, I will say that for parents, if you got little kids, you can watch this with them, but just know that there are a couple of them that you might want to make sure you're in the room with them, just so just so it don't get too, because I don't know how you control your household, so you just because I am not one to talk, because when I was 7 I was watching stuff I ain't had no business watching, so I can't tell nobody that, but like as far as for me personally, just looking at it, I don't see anything too bad.
Right.
What do you think? Because you got kids. So
I got kids and I probably have them. I mean, the Elder, I probably would not have my daughter watch Baby Sandstorm. Probably wouldn't watch that. But DJ Sandbox, he is 11, and I feel like that
he can watch.
I would be comfortable. Yeah, I would be comfortable with him watching something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All the rest of these episodes. So I feel like if you have kids that are probably like around 10 or 11 or so, like I feel like that's a good age where they can watch everything. If they're a little bit younger than that, depending on their age and everything, like you would have to sit there and watch it with them, and kind of explain certain stuff, or just the Elder one is probably the Elder, and the Duel is probably the most adult centric ones. And those ones I would probably sit with my kids for. But other than that, I feel like everything, even like Lop and Ocho, even though it's like geared a little more towards adult, I feel like there's like that shield where it's still kind of lighthearted enough to kind of have a kid just still be able to watch it and not really grasp everything that is being shown. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, so all right, people, that's our thoughts. Please leave a comment. I know it went a little long, but I didn't know a good way of doing this, so I doing this.
It had to go this long.
I was like, the best thing we could do is just go episode by episode. So that was the best thing I could think. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think about the anthology. Did you like it? Did you watch it? Let us know, and we'll see you guys on the next vid. Also, it's Sunday, so 7 o'clock.
Yep, we'll be back in 2 hours.
We'll be back in 2 hours for the Winging It podcast episode. I think we're on 78 or something like that. But be back for that, for the Nintendo Direct Fallout, and why everybody's port begging for Bayonetta 3. Later.
Peace.